Hey, what's up nerds, Swag here, aka I only upload once in a random fucking while now.
What did he say?
After leaving Warframe in terms of content and not really finding my way into Valorant, I have been looking for a game that can both still my hunger for lore related, PvE and PvP content. And let me tell you, I found something even I didn't expect to ever play again. Now before we dive into eating crayons and smacking around guardians, do leave a like and subscribe if you like this video. I'm getting back into the YouTube scene and will be uploading more frequently, so you might as well join the journey. Also, if you're looking for a chill Discord with a bunch of people who have more interests than just Warframe, to game together or just have a good time, the link is in the description below. Also, I joined Team 10-0. As so far, the only YouTube-only creator. 10-0 is a team or a collective of content creators on not only Twitch, but also YouTube who support each other and play together. It's really awesome to join these guys. Now, it's not hard to guess the game I'm mentioning, since it's kind of in the title of this video. But yeah, I started playing Destiny 2 again. My history with D2 is a bit of a broken one to be honest, but let me explain. I first tried the game out a few years ago, actually right before I started playing Warframe as my main time sink game. Back then, the first thing I noticed was that D2 is extremely hard to get into, for me personally. As someone who appreciates a holding hand when starting new games, D2 had more an equivalent of running me over with a semi-truck and calling me a fat fucking noob. Needless to say, my relationship with D2 didn't last long and I quickly uninstalled the game after noticing that I'm literally just doing the same thing every day, which was roaming around the Cosmodrome and EDZ just to kill things. A few things I did keep in mind and took away from the game back then was: the gunplay is amazing. It's quite literally one of the best feeling gunplay systems I've ever experienced. The art style is very cool. You can go from full techno nerd to absolute gladiator, and the environments are stunningly beautiful. About 2 years later now, when Warframe seemed to not be as enjoyable anymore as it initially was, I went on the search for another game in the sci-fi, kinda ninja-like looter-shooter genre, which led me back to Destiny 2. Sadly, yet again, I just couldn't get into it. I played PvE content, even went on to playing some PvP content with friends, and while that was enjoyable, I was missing the purpose of the game. Why does it exist? What's the story so far? What have I missed? Is there even a story? So, yet again, I uninstalled and thought to myself, if this game is so notoriously hard to get into, I'm just not gonna bother with it anymore. Now, it's no secret that after leaving Warframe, I have been frantically searching for a game to enjoy and cover. Which at first I thought Valorant would be the game for me, considering my history with competitive 5 vs 5 FPS games. But Valorant has one major flaw in my opinion, and that is the only thing that makes me come back is improving my rank. There are no community maps, no extra unofficial game modes, like for example surfing in Counter-Strike, and while the game is really fun, those extras really are missing. So back to Destiny 2 it is, which again really came out of a discussion with a few homies. The discussion itself was about what games are doing really well right now and are in that sci-fi bubble we all love so much. The second Destiny 2 was mentioned, everybody just went, yeah, cool game. Kinda hard to get into, but once you're into it, it's really fun and it has a boatload of lore. That was when I went, hold up. Lore? I haven't encountered any lore in Destiny 2 at all. What do you mean lore? This is when I realized that I took the wrong approach when it comes to Destiny 2. See, I compared it a lot to Warframe, as many people do. This led me to believe that Destiny 2 has a free-to-play section where you get to know the game a little. Well, initially that's true. You can play Destiny 2 for free to a certain extent. However, D2 is not free to play. It's free to try. That means you can try the basics of the game without having to pay a single dime. Hell, you can even do some PvP and go on co-op missions if you want to. But, and this is a huge but, you won't really get anything out of the game if you don't get the expansions and seasonal content. So I went on my merry way and explored some channels on YouTube that explained the lore of Destiny and Destiny 2 to get me up to speed with the current season of the game. Most notably the almost 4 or 5 hour video by My Name is Biff, link in the description. I explored some of the weapons and looked for game mechanics I was missing, which led me to a channel called Fallout Plays, also linked in the description. All in all, I did my research, played the game a bunch with friends and also alone. After one of those sessions starting at 8 PM and ending at 3 AM, I went, this game is pretty cool. I feel like Destiny 2 is a game you have to be open for. The game itself doesn't beg the question, is the game ready for you? but rather, are you ready for Destiny 2? With its insane amount of weapons, RNG rolls, armor perks, legendary and exotic items, modding, etc, you will find yourself spending a bunch of time in your inventory or character window, going up the ranks of light level along the way and testing what kind of builds you like to run. Now, I won't fool you, I'm an absolute noob, beginner and or pleb when it comes to this game. Yet I could easily follow along more skilled players simply by reading what the mods do or what perks the exotic items have that I looted. Sure, there will be more intricate examples of that once the synergies start playing a role, but once you understand how the UI works, you can easily make changes to your gear to suit your current playstyle or oppose a certain type of enemy. You know what the coolest thing about Destiny 2 is in my opinion though? You can switch gear and even your class or subclass while you're in a mission. It's so liberating to go, ah shit, my shotgun isn't doing anything here, let me switch over to a linear fusion rifle. Man, top 3 gunslinger is cool, but I need my melee skill to be more readily available. Let's wear this exotic that gives me 2 charges and run bottom 3 gunslinger so I get 1 refunded on a precision hit. Yeah, it's nuts, you can just do that while in your game. Or you're running a strike and notice mid-strike, shit, I chose the wrong class in order to progress. You can just switch it and keep going. There's no need to exit out of the mission, no need to re-gear everything in like a social hub or like a spaceship or something. It's all there, ready to be used. That is one of the coolest things about Destiny, aside from the incredible art direction, the stunning sounds and songs, the insane landscapes and graphics quality, and of course the gameplay or feel of the weapons itself. What does that mean? Well, often in sci-fi games you'll get a shotgun to use against your opponents and it'll feel like a wet noodle. Not in Destiny 2, and I adore that about the game. Every gun feels different, looks different, acts different, has different effects and sounds different. There's so much variety in the weapons you can use, it's almost impossible to just use one set of weapons. Same goes for the armor, by the way. And while you can't really change every single detail of color of your gear exactly like you want it, there are tons and tons of shaders, skins, customizations and effects. I spend a good amount of time to make my Guardian look iced out as much as I possibly can. That adds personality and makes me feel more immersed into the game. You also have skins for your ship, which you can customize, same goes for your Sparrow, etc, etc. There's a whole community subsection dedicated to making your Guardian look as cool as it can, no matter the theme you're going for. Now sadly, if I understand this correctly, you can't play through previous seasonal content, and a large portion of the game got ripped from the current version, in order to keep the game sub 100 gigabytes in terms of size. However, the YouTube community around this game, especially the lore section, take their stuff seriously and you can relive the stories through their videos. After the first week of Destiny 2 and really investing some time into it, I can honestly say that Destiny 2 is a very solid game that easily gets into my top 5 games you need to try. So go out there, download the game, give it a few hours and see if you like it. If you do, I can 100% recommend getting the DLCs as they open up the game even further. Do pay close attention to the first missions as they explain where the important people are and how to interact with the UI. Make sure to like the video and subscribe if you're not a Wukong main, and share this video with at least one Warframe Andy to really ruin their day. Stay safe out there. Later.